shipping changes.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the channel. It's Sunday, October 18th, 2020, and I got requests to do kind of a daily schedule, a day in my life, and how to make like the most of each day and the time as a reseller, even as any entrepreneur business owner should. And the problem is, if you're not familiar with this channel, I'm currently selling my house, so we have private showings happening all the time. They call it like noon to ask if they can come at 2, and so we have to like pack the dogs up and head out. So making my daily routine right now is really bad timing because we don't have a daily routine because everything is unnormal. But I'm gonna do the best that I can, and I'm gonna show you guys like a step-by-step of if I was settled into the new house and we were, off and running from scratch, how you should plan out your day. And everyone's schedule is different. Some of you have kids, some of you have soccer practice to be to, or a full-time or part-time job. Some of you, live on the West Coast versus the East Coast. So there's all sorts of different variables. So you'll need to fine tune it for your situation. But this is for me, where we work on reselling and business all day, every day. We have nothing else going on. And this is, East Coast time, everything that I say. And that's pretty much how we do it. So let's jump in and I'll show you guys each part of our day and what we try to get done. Now, of course, things do change because we make bulk purchases and individual purchases and different meetings, but for the most part, this should cover it. Now, again, this is gonna be a little different because some of our stuff is put away, but beginning of the day, really for us is shipping. We do 1 day handling time, so we have to ship Monday through Friday. We don't ship on the weekends, every once in a while if I feel like it on a Saturday, but not necessary, not required with 1 day, Monday through Friday. So when we wake up, whatever has sold by 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever, what have you, it'll start printing out. So use this thermal printer. This is an arc scan. Dymo makes a really great one. Rollo makes a good one. Any one of the thermal scanners or printers, will work. They're all linked below if you need one of these. Again, it doesn't take ink or toner. It just prints out. It's thermal and it prints out here, and your peel and stick, good to go. Now we do have our original everyday laser printer. We use this for other stuff that's kind of non-reselling, like when we have to print out insurance documents on full-size sheets of paper. And sometimes when I'm not up on my game and I forget to order thermal labels and I am out and I'm waiting for them, we have to use this as a backup. But that's pretty much it. We have our scale here so we can weigh whatever we need to weigh. We have tape guns to tape the boxes. Ignore the extra computer monitor. It's kind of just chilling there. But yeah, so that's really the first part of our day is we'll go out to our bins, which I'll show you in a minute. We'll pull all the orders. Now, normally when the house isn't for sale, we might have a shipping table there, a little shipping counter that we use. In the new house, we'll have that as well. So you can put the items next to it, and then you can print your labels, stick it on, pack them up, throw them in your little bin or your bag or whatever you use, and either leave them for your mailman, have him scan when he picks up, if you have pickups, or take them to the post office, whichever you choose to do. So let's take you out to the bins, and I'll show you part of our pulling process. Now, I'm out in our garage. You can see we have labeled bins, tons of them, remotes, clothing, all sorts of stuff. They're labeled. However, we store them, which I'm gonna do a video for you guys on our listing process also, start to finish and doing this inventory. I'll get that video up for you later this week. Thing about this is our house, again, we stored a lot of stuff out here while the house is being sold because we didn't care about the garage so much, so ignore that. But let's say that you sell a shirt with the SKU line of A. So here's A. So we would just pull this bin out. We'd grab the item that we want to ship. This is a Robert Graham shirt that we have. Let's say it was that Robert Graham shirt. And we would pack that up. Now, this shouldn't take more than 5 minutes per item max. If you only sold one item and you come out here and you pick up this Robert Graham shirt and that's all that you sold, or perhaps you pick up, this remote control that you sold, you should be able to come out here and find an item. Your inventory should be set up in a way that it takes you less than 60 seconds to find any given item. We all lose stuff, that happens, but in theory, you should not take more than a minute or two to find an item. So if you've sold 10 items, this really should be a 10 or 15 minute process of pulling. 20 minutes max to pull all your items on 10 sales. So then you have all your items, you're gonna take them back into that shipping table that I just showed you, and printing labels should take no more than a couple minutes. My estimate for most people with 10 or 15 sales a day, your shipping should never take more than an hour. Our shipping with 10 or 15 would probably take me about 30 minutes, maximum. Pulling them, printing the labels, sticking them on, packing them in. It's really, really easy, and you've got to get that process down. Otherwise, you're wasting too much time, and everything that you're wasting 30 minutes extra on or 45 minutes extra on, task after task after task, is wasting half of your day. So that's our pulling process. Again, I will do a video on how to get it into that inventoried status correctly so you can find stuff fast a little bit later this week. All right, so welcome out back. I figured I would film a little bit for you guys out here poolside. A lot of you don't get to see this part of my house, which I won't live in soon. It's gonna be sad and I'll miss it, but that's our pool and our hot tub back there. So third part of my day after packing, shipping, and pulling really is computer work. And so what I'll do and what I think you should do to make sure your stuff is good for the entire day on eBay or Amazon or whatever platforms you use is go through and make sure that you have responded to any questions. Maybe you have comments on Poshmark or people asking for a measurement you forgot or a size. Make sure everything is good. Clear out any emails. If you're on social media or YouTube, just kind of spend an hour doing computer work. It's what I do. I answer as much as I possibly can. I check to see if, maybe I ran a promotion sale on eBay and it ended this morning. Maybe I want to rerun it. That way I don't go all day with people waiting for questions. I don't miss anybody that may have canceled an order. Really, first thing, make sure everyone that's communicated with you is cleared out and that you are on the right track to have the rest of the day be successful across the platforms. If you're on Poshmark, since it's the beginning of the day, I would recommend, depending on how big your closet is, maybe doing a couple hundred of shares, because you can do that in 20 or 30 minutes. So really sharing the closet for the day, or at least some part of the closet, will give your closet some activity. If you've had items on eBay, auctions that ended, or items that you ended, or this or that, make sure you've refreshed and relisted everything, sold similar, whatever is necessary for your platform to have a successful day. Don't wait until 4 o'clock to start getting things up to date. Otherwise, you have wasted an entire day of things that could have been selling or listed or relisted or on sale or promoted. If you're gonna run a new promoted listing, you wanna do that. Really spend a solid hour on the computer, obviously depending on how big your store is and how many items you have, but a solid hour, maybe 90 minutes if you're somebody bigger, and you should be able to knock all that stuff out right away. Okay, so let's say you start your day as an entrepreneur at home at 9 a.m. You wake up at 8:15, you get your coffee. Ugh, can't stand the coffee drinkers. I hate coffee. Sorry, shame me in the comments. I understand, I'm gonna hear it, it's cool. But you get your coffee, you get dressed, you get a shower, you whatever. By 9 o'clock, you're packing packages, and by 10 o'clock, you're done packages, and now you've spent your hour or hour and a half on your emails. And so by 11:30, you really should be off and running with listing. What you wanna do is go pull 10 or 15 items, however many you have, out to list. This is where you want to do your listing, in the middle of the day, and this really gives you an opportunity where you can spend 2 hours, just 2 hours listing. If you can get 5 items up an hour, you can get 10 items listed in 2 hours, you could work from 11:30 to 1:30, even if you gave yourself until 2 p.m. By 2 p.m., you've done your shipping, you've done all your emails, your communications, your sales, and you've listed 10 items at least. Some of you could list 15 or 20 and really get it, knocked out of the park. But if you're just listing those 10 or 15 items by 2:30, 2:30, you are solid day. You've put in solid work. Now, some people might say, okay, what if it's a sourcing day? So I kind of categorize these in days of day A, day B. Remember back to high school days where you had like A period, B period, every other day was rotating classes. That's how we had it anyways. I graduated in 2003. So like in 2001, 2002, when I was in 11th, 12th grade, we had like on Mondays, I had math, and on Tuesdays I had English, and then Wednesdays math, Thursdays English, Fridays math, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so that was kind of how it worked. So alternating days for sourcing and listing. That's how I've always done it. I would go out sourcing. Since Monday was kind of like a busy shipping day and all, we would stay at home and do all of our work and our listing on Monday. And then Tuesday, I would go out sourcing. But then I realized that half off days for us were Wednesdays. So I started doing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays as my sourcing days, and Tuesday and Thursdays, I'd stay home all day and just work on the computer. Now, obviously, when you get home from sourcing, you're still gonna work on the computer. But if today's your sourcing day and you want to head out by 10 or 11 a.m. after you've done your morning stuff, then you could source for 3 or 4 hours from 11 to 12 to 1 to 2, come home at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and you've sourced for 3 or 4 hours as opposed to listing for maybe 2.5 or 3 hours. You've flip-flopped one or the other, because it's really hard to go out after you've done your shipping and all your other work and source for a few hours and then list for a few hours and then try to do all of the nighttime computer work and updating. If you're somebody that's motivated and you could do that, that's great. Like if you can source all day and then come home and list, fantastic. I am not. I like to go out and source and make the most of my sourcing. And then I like to, list on a different day. So thankfully I have Kate, so she can kind of keep up and list every day because she doesn't really go out sourcing, but you'll have to figure out how to balance that between the two. I know some of you like to get up at 6 a.m., knock everything out by 8 a.m., head out, source from 8 to noon, come home and list from 1 to 5. Man, you're killing it if you're doing that. So that's kind of my advice for the between sourcing and listing. The other piece of advice I can give you, of course, is instead of having to go out to source, you can do more of what we do, which has allowed me to be home more and just have material delivered to you. There's tons of great places, Via and B-Stock and Wholesale Ninjas and all these different places to buy from. I've got a wholesale site that's linked below that you can go buy from. We've actually got some new boxes and new lots up there, some really good deals you can check out. You can, make deals through social media. There's tons of ways to make deals where you don't have to go out sourcing quite as much. And that way you have all the time to sit at home and list, which is what I recommend because you're cutting out half the time. Also, if you need to learn how we do our bulk sourcing through social media, through Facebook, through Instagram, through Craigslist, through Facebook Marketplace, through the groups, through everywhere, that's part of the 2020 training that I'm retiring. Obviously 2020 is going to end, thank God. So my training program on how to do all that sourcing, plus all the eBay, Amazon, Posh listing and tips and tricks and all below is available. You can learn how to do it there. So you can definitely cut out sourcing through that method. Okay, so that is part number 4 of your day, is to either decide if you're listing, sourcing, or how you're gonna go about it, flip-flopping, alternating, or doing both in one day. And however you choose to do it is up to you. Again, everyone's schedule is different. All right, so once I kind of work through all of the sourcing, the listing, it's typically farther along in the afternoon. We're talking 3, 4 o'clock. It's getting time, for dinner. Maybe you get kids, maybe whatever it is that you do. And so, we try to eat around 6:30. Sometimes we eat later, but I will go back on my computer after I've done all the sourcing and listing, make sure I didn't get any more messages, go through and kind of complete a second round, a quick little cleanup of any computer work that I have to do. And then for me, that's when it becomes my nighttime routine of YouTube or a live show if it's Thursday, answering all of your social media and YouTube comments and emails and Instagram. This is sort of where I put time into that. If you're not on YouTube or not a regular social media person, what I would recommend is that you dedicate some of this time to learning a new platform, whether it's Posh or Amazon or Shopify, and or learning how to put time into Instagram and Facebook or YouTube or whatever social media route you want to go, in order for you to open up new avenues. And so I put that nighttime thing, that's sort of the sit on the couch, sit in the big chair from, eat dinner and then, from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Some of you like to go to bed early, but spending 2 or 3 hours, I do it a little later, usually like 10 to midnight, but that time to network, to message, to Facebook, to Instagram, part of the day really needs to be dedicated to expansion. Maybe you watch some YouTube videos to learn how to operate Shopify. Maybe you picked up my 2020 program and you're learning Amazon. Maybe you're gonna start looking at Shop Goodwill. Shop Goodwill has online where they sell stuff. Some of you guys do well buying auctions off of there. So you're gonna spend an hour, scrolling through Shop Goodwill and finding auctions and lots to purchase. Whatever it is that you're going to do, I kind of dedicate that nighttime routine to my research and development, R&D. What am I going to learn today? How am I going to, expand? What am I going to watch? How am I going to figure out a new platform? And so that's really where I would dedicate all of that. And the final thing that I would tell you that I always do, the last thing right before I actually lay down and go to bed, I always watch Netflix or play around on a game on my computer or something, but I always make sure all my messages and emails are as clear as possible. That way, when I wake up, I know that I didn't answer them at 5 p.m. and people went all night without answers. I know that by 10, 11, 12, I had answered everyone, and any messages that came in over, after that were overnight, and people didn't really expect an answer until the morning. So that customer service and that level of message is, I'm going to answer it as much as possible up until I go to bed. And so that's how we work it. And that's kind of my schedule. Your schedule's different. And part of this video, I think, to help everyone else who might have a different schedule than me, who may have kids, who may have a job or part-time, full-time, door dashing, whatever it is, college. I want you guys, if possible, to share in the comments a little bit of a quick breakdown of your day. Just give me just a little quick breakdown in the comments. And if you see somebody else that shared their schedule and you have a similar one, please comment back on theirs. You guys can talk to each other in the comments. You don't need me necessarily. And let us know how your schedules compare, to me, to somebody else that you see in the comments, to other moms or other full-time workers. I really love to read that stuff because it allows my viewers, me and my viewers, to see that everyone's different, and maybe they get an idea from you or somebody else of how they can adjust their schedule to do better and make the most time out of it. So it's really helpful, not just to hear from me, but to hear from all of you. So please do consider using that comment section below. If you don't have a YouTube account, it's really easy. You can just sign in with any Gmail. Just go up to the corner and sign in, and then you can leave a comment even anonymously. You don't have to put your real name or anything like that. So I would really appreciate you guys helping each other out. That's what it's about, community, and hopefully my video helps some of you, and hopefully those comments help you. So appreciate you guys as always. We have about 15 minutes. We have to head out of here. We have a showing. Somebody's gonna come check out the house. So we gotta hurry up and pick everything up and get running out of here. I'm gonna walk around the pool and net the pool a little bit for a few minutes, and then we'll head out, and I'll have that other video up for you guys a little bit later this week. This video will be up tonight, Sunday, October 18th, 2020, probably around 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys as always. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that blue thumbs up if these videos help you. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Over there somewhere you can hit subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications. You won't miss a video, and I'll be able to update you on everything you need to know. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and weekend, guys. Love all of you. I'll see you next time.